this edition of Japan Night. So my name is Tim Wagner. I'm the VP of Brand Strategy for btrax. So btrax is the company behind this whole event. We've held it 6 times with many partners that we'll talk about a little bit later. So thank you for coming out. Our audience is very, very international today. I think we have about 40% Japanese and 60% non-Japanese here. So thanks for joining us to see some of the top Japanese startups. We flew all the way over from Tokyo just to present to you today. So thanks for coming out. So a little bit about Japan Night. So btrax does cross-border business consulting, marketing, and branding. So one of the reasons why we did this event is a lot of our friends are startup people, and we really want to support the innovation that happens in Japan, support all the entrepreneurs. It's tough being an entrepreneur, so we want to help them succeed on the global stage. So that's the reason why we do this event. So before we get started, for you guys who are on Twitter, we actually have a hashtag, so please use it. We're also going to be monitoring this, so if you have any questions that you have for the panelists that we're going to have, or for the presenters, the startups, feel free to use this hashtag. We'll be watching it, so we're going to actually ask your questions if we see a good one. So feel free to use that and comment. Also share. This is being live streamed around the world. A lot of people in Japan are watching this. Our Tokyo event that preceded this had over 300 people there, so a lot of people in Japan are also watching this right now. So share with your friends who couldn't be here tonight, so they can catch some of this. Also, all of you are going to have a chance to vote today. So you're going to have an influence on who the winner of Japan Night is going to be. So if you actually go to this Google Bitly link, you'll find the Google fan page for Japan Night, and each of the startups here tonight have a post, and all you have to do is a +1 to vote for your favorite startups. So anytime tonight, feel free to jump on there and vote, because your vote will be part of what goes into who's going to be the winner of this whole event. You get to have your voice heard as well. So Google's been really great partnering with us. They provide a lot of backup for our Tokyo event, and we want to thank them as well. So before we get started off, we wanted to show you a short little film that our friends over at Tomie Films presented, made for just Japan Night. So we're going to throw that up. Chris? All right, so you can see this is definitely a Japanese event. So we got a little anime going on. But I think they pretty much nailed it, right? Global innovation. That's the main things for tonight, is how do you go global as a startup? How do you succeed? So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. So a little bit more about Japan Night. And, before we get started, we want to thank Pivotal Labs. Everyone, please give a nice round of applause to Pivotal Labs. So if you don't know Pivotal Labs, they're a really top-notch development firm. They do work for some of the world's top technology companies and other firms. And I had some friends here myself that introduced me. They do some really cool coding. If you haven't checked it out, please go to the website and check it out. They've been nice enough to open up their huge space, and they've been really, really helpful and along the way, all the way from day one when we first approached them. So thank you. So at Japan Night specifically, let's throw up the next slide. So, like I said, we had our semifinals event in Tokyo about a month ago. So those are 15 startups. And those 15 startups came out of a large pool of startups that applied to come to Japan Night. And so we windowed it down to these final 6. And today you're going to see who the winner is at the end of the day. So like I said, I'm from btrax. btrax is behind this whole thing. And to tell you a little bit more about what btrax does, I'd like to introduce the CEO of btrax, Brendan Hill.
Thank you so much for coming out. We are totally sold out today, over 200 people. This is by far the biggest turnout for this event. Who are from Japan? Are there any people from Japan in here? Okay, for a local here, San Francisco. So we're presenting today. Presenters here. They're presenters. Who works for btrax? Serious? Okay. So we provide cross-border branding services for companies going to the Asian market, helping out the UI UX design, market research, prominent marketing, and user experience design. And also we help Asian companies to go global, especially those from Japan. So we are very excited to help startups go global throughout this event. I myself is an entrepreneur. I grew up in Japan. I started a company in San Francisco 10 years ago. Luckily, the company still exists and growing. So we are really hoping to help this cross-border activity to go global. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So if you have any questions about btrax, you can see the lovely cool kawaii shirts that we're all wearing. So we're very easy to identify. So I want to next have some folks from Daiwa Securities come up. So Kirinori Yamaguchi. So for those who don't know, Daiwa Securities is one of the top companies in Japan that helps firms do their IPOs, and they've helped a lot of successful companies go a whole mile all the way through to the marketplace and be listed. So they've been really kind and generous in supporting JapanNight. We actually held our Tokyo event at their headquarters right at Tokyo Station, which got great turnout. They've been really strong supporters all the way through. We couldn't have done this without their help. So I'm going to let them tell you a little bit more about what they do.
Good evening. It seems like I'm the only person wearing the suit and tie. Please be patient because as a sponsor, I have to explain my company. So my name is Kirinori Yamaguchi. I'm the San Francisco branch manager of Daiwa Securities. We are very proud to be a sponsor for this San Francisco company. For those of you who may not familiar with Daiwa Securities Group, Daiwa is the second largest investment bank in Japan. This map shows we have a network of offices and business alliances around the world, through which we have cultivated strong relationships with governments and financial institutions in Asia, United States, and Europe. We began our business here in the United States almost 50 years ago, in New York in 1964. And we opened the San Francisco branch office in 2008. We also have a business alliance in the US with M&A advisory firm, Station Advisors, providing support for merger and acquisition deals between Japanese and US corporations. Next. And we also providing strong support for startup companies in each stage of their growth. Early stage, middle stage, later stage, and of course at the IPO stage. That's the reason why we are sponsoring this event. We want to be there to help new companies grow and to help them in the future to make successful debuts in the capital markets and to eventually become core players in the Japanese and global economy. Next, please. And then here is the list of some of the companies that we brought to the Japanese market. The list includes the Yahoo Japan, the leading internet portal in Japan, and Rakuten, Japan's leading electronic commerce site, and Japan Airlines, which used to be under supervision of the government, but emerged as a stronger, better, more profitable airline company, and which we listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, at the press conference held in this April, he used three key phrases to symbolize his growth strategy to revitalize Japanese economy: challenge, open to global, and innovation. I think these three phrases are the perfect match to describe the sort of companies who are presenting themselves tonight. And I strongly believe that they can be a future growth driver for the Japanese economy, or can be a next Twitter. So, we are very much honored to have this special opportunity to support these companies and to support this channel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. So next up, we're going to start our Fireside Founders Chat before we go into the presentation. So first up, I'd like to introduce Brandon back to stage. He's going to be the moderator. And so next up, we have Nathan Blecharczyk from Airbnb. Do you want to come on up? Just a quick little poll. How many people have actually used Airbnb? Ah, nice. So how many people are Japanese and have used Airbnb? Ah, nice. That'll make them very happy. So Airbnb is actually making a big push into Asian market in 2014. So yeah, go talk to Nate. He'll be very happy to hear from you. I don't need to introduce Nathan very much because obviously he's a big pioneer in the sharing economy. Airbnb almost single-handedly invented that whole category. And I was at an event 2 weeks ago at the Global Internet Mobile Internet Conference, and Paul Graham was there from Y Combinator, and he specifically called out the three co-founders of Airbnb, and he said a quote that I think is worth repeating because it's really good for this this audience, I think, because there are a lot of you in the startup area. He said the best startup ideas are the ones that people pay. The best startup ideas are the ones that look bad because nobody else is doing them. What saves us is we go by the founders. We were dubious about the idea of people paying to stay on other people's beds, but the founders of Airbnb were so formidable and energetic that we went with them. So I think that says a lot about Nathan and what Brian and Joe are also doing at Airbnb. So thanks for joining us here tonight. Next up, we have Cass Phillipps. So Cass is the founder of Failcon. How many people know Failcon? Nice, good slice of the audience. So Failcon is the premier event about failure in doing startups. So it sounds very counterintuitive, but it's very much beloved by the startup community and offers a lot of practical advice to anybody looking to do a startup. It's very hard to do a successful startup, and you have to learn from your failures and also other people's failures. So Cass is the brainchild behind Failcon, and Failcon has been produced in 15 cities in 6 continents now. And she says that they're planning on doing one in Antarctica at some point too, so we'll have all of the continents at some point. So Cass was so inspired by all the stories she heard at Failcon that she's actually gone out and gotten more involved in the product side. And so she's working for Pocket Gem, designing mobile games now as well. So thank you for joining, and I'll let Brandon take this away.
So let's see. I'd like to focus this session on the global expansion. So if you could introduce yourself, including your current strategies and plans to go global or going to the Asian market, it will be very exciting for the audience. We are setting up microphones now, so I don't have to handle this. So that's really TED Talks. Or Britney Spears.
We'll go with TED Talk, please.
TED Talk.
All right.
That's fine. No, I think mine's. Oh, maybe a little bit.
That's me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I guess I can start.
You can start.
Yes, Airbnb. We've been fortunate enough to almost be global from day one, and so that was 5 years ago that we launched the company. And in the beginning, we really focused on New York City, collecting just 40 properties and highly curating them, meaning getting really good professional photos of the properties, meeting every single user, training them how to use the website, even coaching them on what to charge. And once we did that, people from around the world started booking these properties in New York. and having great experiences. And then they would go home to where they came from, Paris, Berlin, even Tokyo. And oftentimes the guests would become hosts themselves. And so from the very beginning, there was a global cross-pollination of Airbnb. Even though we didn't have an office anywhere or even a global strategy, just because travel is inherently global. And we've really built on that over the last 5 years. We now have 500,000 properties worldwide, 192 countries, 40,000 cities, basically anywhere you might want to go, including about 1,000 in Tokyo. And we have, well, there's many reasons for our success, I suppose, but one critical factor has been the network effects that exist in marketplace-type businesses, where you need a certain amount of supply and a certain amount of demand. So when we're adding new properties in Tokyo, specifically, I have an audience of 10 million people around the globe who want to go to Tokyo and experience that. So that has been fundamental to our global success.
I myself stayed at the fancy apartment in the Roppongi area last month with Airbnb. It's quite interesting, quite a wonderful experience. So how about Cass?
I think we should talk about guests and hosts, especially when they know that sort of as well. Philipps, we did a similar thing where we catered to one city, which was San Francisco. It's where our network was, it's where we knew the community and knew it was what they wanted. But because we were able to cater it so specifically to an audience, we drew quite an international audience to our first event. About 40% of the audience ended up being from other countries. And as you mentioned, the guest and host idea, that these guests would come to this event and having no idea we even had this global presence, they went home and reached out to me about 2 years later to say, hey, we want to start hosting. It's a similar pattern for 5 years ago, about 2 years into our second event, people around the world start reaching out and asking how to cater it to their market. And that's when we started working on this global strategy to figure out how to get communities in each of these cities that's producing these events to kind of have a piece of ownership of this event, to understand what made it tick and to work with them to make it successful in their city so that we didn't have to spread ourselves too thin. So a lot of our global strategies has been doing that, creating evangelists in each city where they can feel a sense of ownership of the product and they can kind of cater it to what their community needs. So that's a little bit about Philipps group.
Very good. By the way, I love Failcon so much. I wrote one blog article a couple years ago, another one last year. They're a big hit. One of the articles talks about the Uber founder, Travis, and talking all about the mistakes he made in the past. Every time he goes to Japan, people talk to him saying like, "Oh, you're the failure guy," and he was like, "No, I'm the successful guy." We're just getting influence.
So that's
Always
when
a
we
reminder.
anymore.
Cool. So, do you guys any advice on doing business in this country or outside of China or outside of the Asian market?
I think it's really important to meet your users, know who your users are. Even within the American market, we started our company here in San Francisco. And like I said, we focused on New York very early on. And for us, that meant going to New York every weekend and actually meeting the users. And at first, we were kind of thinking, we're an internet company. We shouldn't have to go and meet every single user. But then Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, gave us some advice and said it's okay to do things that don't scale in the beginning. And so we met every user and we learned so much from them. And I have to imagine it has to be even more important when you're going between countries and trying to launch in a new place. We're making a big push into Asia. We already have properties and users in Asia, but we're going to be further customizing our offering there. And a big part of that will be making a lot of trips for myself and the entire team, meeting with users, collecting feedback, and getting inspiration.
Yeah, we're still at a point that we're not traveling to all of our countries yet. So the first position that we set up was ambassador positions. And it was this idea of having people on the ground that were local to that community, that were speaking out about the event, that were helping host it. So I do definitely say if you could get to the country, if you could get to where you're trying to reach, the city, the state, you need to be there. And if you're not there, you need to have somebody who's there kind of speaking their message and helping sure that we're btrax is great for us in Japan, which is why we want to head over there soon.
So I understand Cass is expert in failures. So what would be the typical mistakes or possible failures entrepreneurs make in early days? Maybe you can talk about it for own examples too.
So the question is, most common failures I've seen. Most common failures. Probably the most common failure that I've seen is probably two. One is people get to a solution before they actually have a problem that they're trying to solve. It's the same mistake I made in my first startup. We designed a product that we thought was beautiful. We thought it was really helpful and really nice. And then we went out and actually started talking to our users after we started making this product and realized it wasn't a problem that they actually thought they had. It seems really obvious now, and I always feel like it sounds stupid for me to say it to you, but then I keep meeting founders who tell me, well, yeah, we've talked to some users, they all seem to like it. And I want to say, are they going to pay for it? Are they going to put money down on it? Does it actually solve a problem that they're willing to take out their pocketbook for? Or is it just something kind of nice that they're willing to be like, yeah, that was okay? So that's probably one of the two major mistakes I've seen. The second one is co-founder teams. A lot of people make startups with their friends, which does work out a lot of the time, but I just, as a heads up, a big issue I see is people who aren't just dead honest with each other about what's going on in their lives, what's going on in the startup, how they're emotionally feeling. And it's because they came to the startup relationship as friends, and they want to preserve this friendship, and it can create a lot of tension when you actually have to be having these fights or these disagreements or these arguments about where the product is going. Those are probably two of the biggest failures that I've seen at the people that come to this conference from my own experience.
So Airbnb consists of 3 good friends.
Yep, I figured that's a great segue.
The counterpoint. No, I totally agree. There's nothing more important than choosing your partners because you can change your idea, you can pivot your business, but you can't change your partners without destroying the business and starting again. And these are people you're going to spend a lot of time with. I mean, it's no different than a marriage in your personal life. This is in your professional life. So Joe, Brian, and I, yes, we were friends. Joe and I had actually lived together. But by living with Joe, I really got to know him well, understand what his character was. And I noticed how hard he worked on his projects, late nights and weekends. And I also saw that he had complementary skills I didn't have. But he's a designer, he's amazingly creative, create physical products. And then he saw that I could make him come alive online and do so quickly. And so he thought, wow, like, if we put those two things together and we partnered, we could actually do something really interesting. And Brian, the third co-founder, knew Joe from Risdian, and they had a similar experience. So we worked together not just because we were friends, but because we were excited about what we could accomplish if we brought our skills together. So that has been fundamental, and it's funny, we're each so different. We did this executive personality study thing where they put your personality on the circle. And our personalities are exactly 120 degrees apart from each other. So if you connected a line, you'd have an equilateral triangle. And I think that really captured what I felt, which is that we're perfectly complementary. I don't think the company would have succeeded if it was just me or just me and Joe. It really took the 3 of us. It's like a stool. It wouldn't have stood otherwise.
So there are cases that friends company may work. A company started by 3 good friends went public today. That's a good example, maybe. Probably can't guess the name. Really close to this place.
Although it's interesting to see that not all the founders are still involved in the company. Your counterpoint.
I will say that, like what you would say, where you might have been friends before that, but you really came together because you had such different skills going in. And I see so often it's like, oh, we're both developers, we love coding together, so we'll found a company. And you're like, oh, but that's like one piece of the puzzle. So basing it on your skills rather than your friendship.
It wasn't because we were friends that we started the company. We had confidence in who each of us were because we were friends, because we had the opportunity to get to know one another over a period of time. But that's not why we decided to work together.
So those Japanese entrepreneurs come to San Francisco to present at this event once or twice a year. And there has to be something special about the city or San Francisco Bay Area. For you guys, do you have anything special about this area? What makes it very different from the rest of the world in terms of entrepreneurship and such?
I mean, I have an obvious answer, which is I think Silicon Valley is one of the biggest supporters of failure that I've ever seen. And I think that is a huge encouragement to the startups here. That founders are so comfortable with saying, yeah, it might fail. Yep, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to put it out there. It's not going to ruin my life. people around me are going to support me. It means that we've set up a real support structure to help catch any founder that kind of falls and help them get back on their feet. It's a big reason why I'm actually more interested in our international events. This idea of getting places like Tokyo more supportive of failure and letting you guys make these mistakes that you need to make to start a successful company.
So I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Boston. And I would have these conversations with my parents, even 2 or 3 years after I started the company and things were going well. My dad would be like, so how's it going? How much longer do you think you'll be doing this? I mean, really kind of like an undertone of like, when are you going to get a real job? I don't understand where this is going. You're very capable. And meanwhile, like all my friends are going and getting their MBAs, law degrees, they're working at iBanks. And those are great careers too. I just chose a different path, but my friends and family didn't understand. Out here, everyone is doing this, and it's amazingly supportive. And you're going to go through some hard times. So many people don't pace themselves, and then they're surprised after 9 months that it's getting harder, not easier. And it's in moments like that where you need the support of the community. They keep saying, go for it, keep going. Because otherwise, if you're somewhere else, your friend will be like, oh, I can get you a job. It'll pay really well, and it'll be tempting. And if you quit too soon, you won't succeed.
Cool. So I'd like to open up for Q&A session. I encourage people, audience, to ask questions to us, Nate, Cass, and myself. Do you have anybody who'd like to ask questions?
Don't be shy and ask anything.
Yeah, this is a really rare opportunity to ask.
I just want to ask about failure. Why Silicon Valley is really capable of failure, and then what's the next step? Tokyo will be more capable of failure. Now I don't think Tokyo is not in that kind of situation.
I actually don't know what started Silicon Valley's acceptance of failure. I mean, maybe closer to some of the investment ideas, and it's just a place where I think it had such a big failure with the bubble bursting that, especially now, we've all gained some resilience, and we've now seen how to get through such a massive failure that we've kind of come through it. I am very passionate about your second question, which is how do we get cities like Tokyo to create this failure environment. Our first city was actually France, and Paris is a very similar sort of culture and lack of support there. And I think it is starting with you guys. That it's starting with the entrepreneurs and the VCs, and the investors and the entrepreneurs working together to teach one another that this failure is okay, to be able to go into an investment meeting and comfortably say, this is what I failed at, and here's what I learned from it. And that's actually, that learning is what's making me a better entrepreneur. That I have failed and learned shows that I have the resilience that's necessary.
I worked at a company before Airbnb as an engineer. It wasn't my company. I learned everything not to do at that company. And that was super valuable. I'm really thankful for that. Now, 1 year later, the company didn't exist, and I was disappointed because I had worked very hard there. But looking back on that, I used, when the airplane's going down, you feel every bump along the way, right? When things are going well, it's very easy to overlook and take things for granted. So that could be a really valuable experience that toughens you.
And it's just starting with you guys getting comfortable in this room, going up to one another and sharing your failures. And that'll slowly kind of make inroads.
Any other questions?
Sure.
So this question is for Nate. So I've got a group of friends who are coming to accept next week, and they got accepted into the final round of YC interview. And I was wondering if you ever advise people interviewing with I guess YC partners, and if there's anything you can tell them.
Yeah, so we went through the Y Combinator interview, and I've certainly had a lot of friends who've gone through and given them advice. The first thing I'll say is it goes by really quick. It's a 5-minute interview at most, and it's very easy to get off track because you go in there talking about something, and then they start asking questions, and before you know it, 5 minutes is over, and you haven't made your point. So it's really important to just spit it out and get it out there so that they hear the message. Also, the way it used to be, at least, was everyone's on one side of the room, kind of looking at you. You can't show them a laptop. You can't show them anything. You just got to convince them that you either have a good idea or, more importantly, who are you as people? Because at the end of the day, they're not very good judges of ideas. They thought our idea was terrible, right? But we convinced them that the three of us as founders were so determined that we would figure it out some way. So I just think, the confidence you bring, the intelligence you convey, and just making sure that your team, there's a lot of things on the web that they'll tell you that are important to Y Combinator people about the team. Making sure that you kind of quit your jobs and that you're completely focused on this, that matters a lot. So I would encourage them to go online too, because people have written about this. Yeah.
Any other questions? Do you guys have any advice to those who are coming from Japan today and presenting and trying to expand their businesses to the global market?
There's so many things I could say. I mean, for those who are coming up to present up here, I'd say, be confident, believe in yourself. I know it can be scary to talk to a room full of people. I remember those days. Once you do it enough, it will feel normal. I would say, if it's your first time here in San Francisco in the Bay Area, really take the time to get out and go to the places where entrepreneurs hang out and see if you can get some tours of different companies. Try to absorb it and bring it back with you so that you can create that ecosystem, that environment, that place where failure is okay back in Tokyo. I think cross-pollination of ideas and enthusiasm it's contagious. So just make the most of your visit here, and I'm happy to chat afterwards too. Yeah.
+1 to the tour other companies. Like touring companies, awesome. Spend like an hour there to watch their process. It's amazing. On presenting, I think the biggest mistake I see demos make is they spend like 5 minutes on the prep of their company or explaining their company, and like get up here and have one sentence that tells me the thesis statement of your company. And if you say you can't do that, you might not understand your company well enough yet. So like in those demos, like get on stage, you need one sentence that is your thesis, and then dive into like the meat of it and why you're doing it, why it's interesting, and why it's important. And then end with that thesis, so I'm like bookended in what your company is. My only global advice is actually something that both Nate and I mentioned at the start. Don't actually start off thinking globally. I think that doesn't scale well. Start off thinking about a city. Like you were like, New York. I want to get to New York. I was France. I'm like, I'm going to get an event in Paris. That's what I'm going to do. So target San Francisco and just get to know the city and the people who live here really well.
All right. Any other questions from the audience? Not. I'm closing out this session, and we're gonna get the show on the road. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Also, I'd like to mention that Failcon is going to be doing Failcon in Japan in the summertime. So btrax is talking with them to support them as well, because we want to bring that show on the road to Japan, because it has a lot of value. So hopefully for you folks who are living in Tokyo or other parts of Japan, you can come to be part of that event in next summer. So next up, I want to introduce another one of our supporters, Itochu Technology Ventures. So if we have Suguru Yamayo, you can come on up. So ITV has been a stalwart supporter of JapanNight. I think this is the third time they've sponsored JapanNight, and so we really count on sponsors such as them to make this whole thing happen. So I'm going to let them tell you a little bit more about what they do.
Hello, my name is Suguru Yamayo of Itochu. I'm based in here. I'm responsible for the strategic investment and the business development. So today, I'd like to introduce ourselves. So yeah, Itochu Corporation. Let me introduce about Itochu Corporation. It's one of the largest conglomerate in Japan. It's a global Fortune Global 500 company, and founded in 1858. Very old company, maybe older than California. I don't know. So, and Itochu Technology Ventures is a venture capital arm of the Itochu Corporation. So it's focusing on early stage ventures companies. We already have three funds and 220 million under donations. And we already invested in over 100 companies, and we both invested in enterprise IT and consumer IT. And today, I would like to introduce some of our latest portfolio companies. The first company, please go to the next slide. The company called Wheel. This company is producing the next generation wheelchair, and they will release the product in this December. So the product will cost about $7,500, but they would like to disrupt the old type wheelchair industry. So team is very great. Most of them are very, coming from well-established Japanese manufacturers like Sony, Olympus, Nissan. And next company, the company called Tokyo Tech Mall. We also invested in this company this year. This company is one of it's a global startups coming from Japan to US or in global. And they are providing the curation service for Japanese pop culture, like animation, we call manga, it's a comics. And they have started the service in Facebook, and they have 13 million fans and 3.5 downloads for mobile apps. So they are very huge at this moment. And third company we have invested in is the US company. As you know, Fab is the fastest growing e-commerce company, and we are helping them to enter into Japanese market. So Itochu Technology Venture is a company which we help the company, Japanese startups, entering the US market, and also US startups to enter in the Japanese market. The last slide is about our team. So yeah, these are our team in Tokyo, and so we always looking for the very great team in the US and Japan. So and we hope working together. So please contact me after the event, and also Japan has many innovative startups, and which you will see today. So please enjoy, and yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. So we're getting closer. We're going to get started pretty soon here. Before we jump into it, I want to just give you a quick overview of the process, the format for tonight. So I'm going to pull up the next one. So this is a 5x5 demo event, which means they get 5 minutes to show you and wow you what they're doing. And there's going to be 5 minutes of questions. So that's going to come from our judges, and also the audience will have some chance. We don't have so much time. So we're not going to pass the mic around, so I encourage you to get on Twitter and put your questions there, because I'll be representing the audience. I'll be monitoring my Twitter stream over here with the hashtag that's up over here, the SF_JPN hashtag. I'll be monitoring that. We have some Twitter friends in here, so they'll be really happy we're pumping them, so please use that. Also next, so the judges, some of the things we'll be looking at: user benefit, why would anyone want to use this, the user experience quality, technical execution, what makes them unique, sort of the business model, how they're going to make money, always an important one. English presentation, really important to remember. These guys, English is not their native language for the most part. They're standing up here, and so you can imagine trying to do a presentation not only in front of a room full of people, but also in a language that's not your native one. So major props to them, just the fact that they're here. And then global growth potential, whether they can leap outside Japan. So that's the major judging criteria. So finalist prizes. So there's some stuff on the line here. So most of the stuff is what all of the 6 people here have already gotten. So United Airlines, our sponsors, flew a bunch of these guys from Tokyo to San Francisco. ITV, I did some pitch feedback sessions with them to help sharpen their presentations. Google gave some cloud space to the developers, and we have PR Times doing digital PR for them. And Prezi gave some presentation lessons. If you don't know Prezi, you should check it out. A few of these guys are going to use their software to show, to do their demos. And we also did an event with DFJ 2 nights ago down in San Mateo, so they were supporting this as well. And lastly, Founder Suite is giving a 3-month license to all of our finalists. And next we have the winner. What they're going to get, that was curious, is going to do some corporate matchmaking. As you can see, they're very well connected in Japan, and that can make the difference between success and failure sometimes. So they're going to do their best to help the winner be a success. And then B-Launch. So this is thanks to our partner, John. He's going to give one demo spot at their event in Seoul. So this is a big-time event because it's the largest startup event in Korea. 2,000 people. So you're going to get in front of a huge audience in Seoul. And that's in May 2014. So you got a guaranteed spot if you're the winner. And Founder Suite is getting a forever license, so they never have to pay for it. btrax is going to do global consulting sessions, so that's what we did. And so, sorry, my mic died here. But so to get started, I want to introduce 2 of the other judges. So you already know Nathan and Cass. So next up we have Nathan. You want to stand up so I don't see you. So Blue Run Ventures is an early stage VC firm. They've done a lot of work. Some of their investment portfolio includes Waze and Slide and PayPal. So not too shabby, right? It's a pretty good run. I think they're on your 4th fund now, $250 million. So it's a pretty big scale. So they have offices in the U.S., Shanghai, Seoul, and Beijing. So welcome, Joe. Thanks for being part of the chat today. And we have David Austin. So if you want to stand up. Hello? I didn't the Britney Spears thing too. So next up we have David Austin. So David has worked in several roles at Apple, including roles of working directly with Steve Jobs, and he also has some experience doing startups himself. And currently he is working for MediaCamp, which is an innovation accelerator that is jointly funded by Turner Broadcast, Warner Brothers, and Time Warner. So thank you very much for being here. So as you notice, some of you are looking at the ticket event. You probably noticed one of our judges not here, Jason Huggins, who's the co-founder of the Sauce Labs. He had a great excuse. Apparently Obama called him up to help solve the whole healthcare.gov website problem. So we gave him a kind of mulligan on that one. So thanks a lot for David for stepping in really last minute to help us out. So without further ado, we're going to have our first presenters, which is CodeBread. So thank you very much, and let's hit it.
Okay. My name is Junpei Amane, and we are a team of CodeBread. First of all, I will ask you a question. If you want to start to learn programming, what are you going to do? I think it's too complicated for a super beginner to learn how to code because they have to set up first, need to choose editor, typing turning page with typing code on computer, and they will make a lot of bugs. Most people can't keep their motivation and just stop learning. That is problem. So we released code prep. Super beginner just want to know how I can make product with programming. Code prep is web-based online interactive learning platform for programming super beginner. Code prep have 3 points. First, you can create application for 30 minutes. Second, you can learn how to code with fill-in-the-blank editor we developed. Third, you can learn like a game with getting point, getting title badge, and competing with friends. If you are a super beginner, you will like programming. Now, let me show you our demo now. Code prep, we release this service with Japanese and English version now. And this is, there are many contents named book, and you can create application with each book, like this. And if you want to try, just click the icon. Before you try, you can see what you make in detail page like this. This is editor page. You can read the question and hint on left side, and you can type just code on top right, like this, with fill-in-the-blank editor. And your code reflects on the preview window, like this. Anyone can learn how to create by yourself, coding step by step. Code prep offers these application, minigame animation. Anyone can make application by yourself with code prep. We released this service on 26 August this year, and already 300,000 exercises have been completed. That is, one user completed 3 books on average. That is, one user like our service. We have 3 business models. First, monetizing with textbook. Monetizing with each book. We will release this service, this monetized plan on next April. Second, introduction to education institution. Actually, one of Japanese university is already using our service, code prep, for our class, for classes as textbook. Third, commission fee from C2C, like App Store. Not only us, but also third parties such as hacker or company developer can publish book on code prep. They can monetize with code prep platform, and they can make their brand on code prep platform. Our goal is to make anyone can use programming language. You know, programmers are really needed all over the world, and code prep has a potential to make the world better by increasing programmer. This is our strong team, and yesterday I got advisor. Today we are looking for advisor and investor here. So let's talk with us later. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Wow, that was 2 to second for 5 minutes. So talk about just-in-time Japanese. Seriously, that was good. All right, so judges, who wants to have the first question?
So maybe you could talk a little bit about the vision of where this goes. So it sounds like today many of your users have completed 3 or more of the assignments. But after completing a number of assignments, do people graduate? How advanced can they become, and where does it kind of go from there? How can you maintain a relationship with a customer over a longer period of time, let's say a year or multiple years?
Well, first of all, we have right now it's just for so beginners, and we are increasing the contents more and more, and like trying to run and more complicated gaming and animation, something like that. And so in the next year, in April, we are going to sell those applications, each applications for the customers. And then like it's gonna be a kind of platform for developers, such as he said before, but like helpers and companies and developers can create their own applications in the code base, and they can also sell the code, their own applications. So users can buy those applications to run programming, and then so they're gonna be developer maybe of the code base in the future. That's our goal.
Thank you.
Thank you. The presentation is great. A couple questions. The first one is, you said that people can develop their own apps and they can show them on the platform. Is that an application that they take off the platform, or does it only run on the platform?
You mean like they can create the application as a component?
Can they take that application and put it someplace outsourced?
Yes, we are thinking of that. Right now we can't do this. In the future, like we try to make some applications, maybe like users can download it on their computer. Yes.
Actually, in the exact mode that you guys, I'm your audience. I've tried to write the code like 4 times and it's failing.
But the big thing that kept me at Code Academy and some of the others that kept me was the community, that the users could communicate with each other and help each other through their problems. Do you have anything like that set up, or do you have any plans to set anything like that up?
Right now, we have a discussion board and a code event, so users can communicate each other. If users have some questions, they can like write about their questions on the discussion board, and maybe like someone knows about it, answers questions. That's one of the community we have right now, and then we're gonna make some ranking board, something like that stuff, and then like users are going to clear many applications. After that, like they can getting title badges, like they gotta level up, and so those kind of level, like we're gonna estimate it, or we're gonna make a ranking on some contents in the content.
So as you guys think about global expansion, which markets do you think you're going to start in, and which are the markets that you think will be most critical to your long-term success?
First Japan, and second US, and after we are going up to Asia.
What do you think will give you an advantage when bringing your product to new countries? I would have to imagine that a lot of these assignments would have to be localized, and that, like, let me say it a different way. Let's say you're really strong in Japan. Does that give you an advantage to go to Hong Kong and do the same thing, or do you think that's starting again kind of from scratch?
Well, maybe we can try the same thing in Japan into our maybe it's Hong Kong, if it's Hong Kong. Or maybe we can figure out like how it's going to be fit in our countries, each countries, and so I don't know. We need to figure it out more.
All right, so we have one question from the audience, which is Coursera is a successful similar site and they're free. How do you provide value that people will pay for? So Coursera is a competitor to kind of some of the things you're doing. So how do you compete? Why would they choose CodePrep instead of Coursera?
Coursera is mostly like users watching a movie and learning programming stuff. But we are actually doing like not watching movie at all, and just they are doing. They are creating applications, and they gonna learn how to create applications by their hands, like, step by step in the process. We are going to make contents, but So it's a kind of different thing, like between the Code Lab and Coursera. So yes, and maybe Code Lab is more like for beginners. The Coursera is a little bit more like intermediate engineers, I guess.
So, one last question. Any questions? Sure. So I think you answered most of them. I'd actually, it was pretty quick, so it's hard to see completely on the design exactly how it works, but it seemed very clean. Does it do step-by-step sort of, unfortunately I can't read Japanese, my problem. Is it telling you steps on the side that you're trying to fill in, or how are you actually proceeding through that program?
There, like in the one contents, there are some steps, maybe 5 to 10 steps in one content, and each page has an explanation and clues, like hints, and there are editor page, and so there is also have a fill in the blank. So and the user can see the explanation what school should be in fill in the blank. And they can think about the answer. So like they are going to see same direction in the content, like maybe 6 to 10 steps, and they can complete the application.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Everyone, give it up for Code Prep. All right. So up next we have Fukushima Wheel. So besides just software-related companies, we also have hardware innovators here. People are kind of innovating in the boundaries between hardware and software. So Fukushima Wheel is one of them. We started adding this component to JapanNight earlier this year, at JapanNight 5, because we saw so many people doing really cool stuff that wasn't strictly software or like SaaS-related type of product. So I think you guys are going to be very interested by this presentation. So I'll give it away to Fukushima Wheel.
You have the judge's interest.
So I'm ready. So first of all, I'm very honored to be here because I'm from Fukushima, and I'm very happy to come with this bike from my home, beautifully painted Japanese worker with a crack of the gold. So do you have any idea of this number? Anyone? No. So this is the number of the victims of the last earthquake in Japan. And another number is the number of the victims of the refugees who lost the house. So our area is so broken, and I like to repair it. So how? So in the philosophy of the tea ceremony, there are some concepts of kintsugi. So it's a kind of broken teacup, but it's repaired with gold. So it has more value than original conditions. So I'd like to start a new innovation from Fukushima to the world. So this is a kind of big picture of the Fukushima wheel. So let me explain with a video how we invent the wheel. So we focus on the bicycle share program. So it has three elements. One is a smartphone. So smartphone gives you a navigation in a city so that the tourists can explore the city. And also we can get big data of the tourists of the city. And not only the tourists, but we can encourage locals to ride a bicycle instead of the car, which is the most energy efficient platform on Earth. And then it's very kind of friendly to the Earth. So actually this year is very special. Believe it or not, this year is 200 years of anniversary of the invention of the bicycle. So let's support the sustainable transportation. And the second is we have LED on the wheel. So LED on the wheel shows the advertisement from the sponsors, depends on the location, and also timing. And then we get the sponsorship from the principal, and also, oh boy, we patented in the US. And then also it's very good for prevent the accident in the night, because lots of kind of bikers got accident in the night. And then last, we have a sensor. So as I said, I come from Fukushima. So we have a problem of the radiation. So we have a radiation sensor and other kind of city environmental sensor. So not only the radiation, all the city has a big problem, like air pollution or traffic jam. So we can attach many sensors so that we can explore the city, so that we can see, the live data of the city. And then government can buy such kind of data as kind of open data. So Fukushima wheel is only one of the wheel of the bicycle, and usually bicycle has two wheels. So we like to expand my idea from Fukushima wheel to your city wheel. So you just ride for fun. So our market and the business model is very amazing. Like growth of the market is emerging, and then past 30 hours, New York got more than 5,000 subscribers of the bike share kind of programs. So our focus is B2G and B2B and B2C. So Oscar Wilde said, where there is a soul, there is a polygon. So I strongly believe. And also our team believe. So today, I prepare showtime for everyone. So I want everybody to say showtime after me. Okay? I don't need a check. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so I'm sure the judges have some questions on this one. Who wants to go first?
How much does it cost?
Yeah, right now we are kind of prototyping this, so it's kind of little bit kind of expensive, but including bike, it's less than 3,000 US dollars, including bike.
And can you only get part of it? Like, can you only have the environmental sensor and put your own smartphone?
Yeah, of course. As I said, this is a kind of bike share platform, so I can say just advertisement or sensor or navigation as we got.
So is the customer for this cities that would buy 1,000 bicycles at once, or would individuals buy these bikes?
Yeah, we have two ideas. One is B2B, is rental bike, share bike company or government buy the bicycle, and then we give prepared bike. And another is we have two products. One is attachment type, and another is kind of built-in, like this kind of built, so that a user can buy Amazon or whatever they like.
So let's assume the customer is cities, and they're shopping between 1,000 of these bicycles and 1,000 of the bicycles we have in San Francisco, which are not very fancy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not San Francisco city bike. It's kind of, looks good, but it doesn't have any incentives. So for me, it's kind of very boring.
So how would you get the city, though, to pay the extra money for all the extra electronics?
Yeah, actually, as I said, we got the sponsorship from the advertisement. So maybe bicycles will be free.
And the advertisement is what I saw on the wheel, the messaging.
And then even city buy environmental data of the city.
Any other questions? So unfortunately, being in a big city, and it's actually what I worry a lot about is scalability. And how long does it last? So how sturdy are these devices, and how
You mean battery wise?
No, sturdy as in people tearing them apart, stealing and put on their own bike.
Yeah. Actually, that's a kind of really good question because we can build in a GPS inside of the wheel so that we can track them down. So.
I suspect the advertisers might not mind if you take their thing, put their ads in your body stuff. But I mean, there's an interesting concept there. Maybe instead of trying to do this again, the actual use might be beyond just the city bike.
In Europe, number of the bicycles is even more than the population of the people.
Do you know how much just the wheel LEDs are? Because I can see a lot of B2C bike enthusiasts just wanting your LEDs.
It's 600 to 700, something like that.
So in the long term for your business, do you think that the value is in the data or in the advertising?
Both.
How would you split it?
We're gonna have a joint venture with Fireside startups so that we focus on the more technology-wise. And we have an advertisement agency which sells advertisement.
So my question is more around, do you think that the value of the company that you're building is in the crowdsourced data and the analytics, or do you think that ultimately you'll make more money being an advertising platform?
Yeah.
The advertising platform.
But, okay, so it's advertising. You can only see the ad if the wheel is spinning at a certain speed. And if the wheel is spinning, the bike's moving, and it's gone before you know it. So is it a rich enough advertising platform to get advertisers to pay?
Yeah, imagine it's something like a flash mob. If I have only one bike, of course it doesn't work. But if a city or people have thousands or millions of bikes, it's I think it's very appealing.
So imagine all the bicycles in San Francisco with the same message for a day. You would probably notice.
Yes, and we can distribute different advertisements depends on people.
All right, so we're out of time, unfortunately.
What's a one-word answer?
One-word answer, okay.
Do you have any paying advertisers right now?
Yes, we got the sponsorship from Prisbal, and we are negotiating with the city of Aizakumatsu, and we got negotiating with NTT Docomo, which is one of the biggest telecom carriers in Japan.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Give it a applause. So we're gonna let people ride this afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you come up and get a free ride after the event. So you can drive around. For those of you who couldn't see in the background, it's pretty cool to see the LED wheel going. So thank you very much to Fukushima Whale. So next up we have Bokusumaho, which in English roughly translates I'm a battery saver. So they're going to talk a little bit about what they're doing at Bokusumaho. So we have Shuta Shibuya, the CEO, is going to talk here. As soon as he gets up. So just a reminder, we're taking questions on Twitter. Use the hashtag so I can see it. We'll ask the questions. There actually was a good feedback to Fukushima Whale, which is you should check out the CSR budget of companies. Maybe they'll buy the bike for CSR reasons. So there's some feedback from Twitter. So if we're ready to go here, yep. All right, so focus on everyone.
Okay. Hi, I'm Shooter, the CEO of Fla. First of all, I'd like to introduce my company. Fla is a company consisting of 10 young engineers, and we are funded by $1 million from MA Capital last year. Okay, so our main concept is to solve problems concerning smartphones. So it is our world's most simple and fun battery saver for smartphones. So, okay, today, so I have a good news. So here is the main hero today, come on. Okay, so next. So there are 2 billion smartphone users in the world, and battery life is our greatest concern among 90% of smartphone users. So we are solving this huge problem. Yeah. Okay. So if you use our battery saver app, it improves battery life by almost 2 hours. And there are 3 main features of this app: uninstaller, task killer, and gamification. So I'd like to move on to a demo. Okay, so this is our app. Yeah. First, how to use. Okay. So the condition of the smartphone is bad. When the condition of the smartphone is bad, he gets tired. Yeah. Like, and so the left, the desk work file on the left side is his work. Okay. Next. And on the right is a scale. When an app is installed, he gains weight, like this. Okay. So let's get some work done. So his job is to stop running apps. So work done and done. Yeah. Okay, so now his work is done. And now let's delete an app. So firstly, our app detects how frequently an app is used and how much battery each app consumes, like this. And unused apps consuming a lot of battery comes first at this list. So you can delete apps very easily, like just like this. So delete. Yeah. Okay, so So deleting an app is his exercise. Okay. So deleting. Yeah. So when you continue deleting app, so you may get a sticker like this. Very cute. And so collecting stickers becomes the user's motivation. So this is computer oji-san. So by the way, oji-san means Japanese cute, kawaii old man. Okay. Okay. So now let's get back to our final slide. Okay, so we released our app just last year, and it will reach almost 1 million downloads. And our app is especially popular among Japanese female. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.
Alright, so I'm guessing none of the judges have ever seen a demo that included a character, a mascot. Again, JapanNight. So, questions for Focus? Oh.
So how do you monetize this?
Okay. Okay, so we have two business models. So one way is through advertisement of this app. So these advertisements recommend new apps based on users' preference because we know which application do our users have. And another way is by providing statistic data to app developers. So just like this. So app developers can receive their competitors' critical data like real installs, so male-female ratio, active users, and routing times. And this service is already used by almost 10 Japanese developers like Communication Career and a social gaming company. Okay. And we have already raised sales. So each market has potential of about $20 billion and $30 billion.
So are there other companies that have similar analytics for app usage?
In Japan or
I assume it would work most places, but yeah, I'm sure in Japan.
So I think so. Okay, so our real competitor is like our App or something like that. So if app developers use App so they can only download, but we can provide real installs and male-female ratio, and so right now it's only our service is only one service in Japan.
So one thing I'm confused about is your value in saving battery life? And if it is, why don't you just automatically shut down apps that aren't being used without going through the gamification? And if it's in analytics, is this a little bit of a bait and switch for users? Because you're telling them that you're saving battery life, but what you're really doing is tracking analytics?
I see. So, okay. So our users are using this app for entertainment. So this is okay. Okay. So at first, okay, our app is especially popular among Japanese females. So at first, our app looked like less one, a little bit geeky style, but we changed it to the light one, the pop style. So that's why our app is especially popular among Japanese females. So I think the combination of our utility app and pop character is our innovation. Okay. Okay.
Any other questions? We actually did have one question from the audience about doesn't all the sounds and animation eat up your battery even faster?
I see. Okay. It's a difficult question. But I think so for him, so users can okay. So of course you can do not you can use so because you can stop this function like sounds and animation. So for okay, so we have some setting of not using sounds like that. Okay. But almost of our users are using this function like sound because they like to have fun with him.
All right, so we have 20 seconds. Anyone have a one-word answer question? No? All right, so thank you very much for folks.
Thank you.
I hope you took lots of photos and posted that to Instagram because that's pretty rare in Silicon Valley. So next up we have Ring. So we have Tagoro Yoshida, who is the CEO of Ring. He's going to show you what he's doing, and I think you guys will be pretty impressed. And also, this is one of our kind of hardware innovator guys. Right, whenever you're ready.
Hi. Okay. Okay. No. Ready? Okay. Okay. That's okay. No. Okay. Right. Right. Hi. Today I'd like to introduce a link. This is a finger device which you can control everything. So I'd like to show you one movie. It takes about 45 seconds. You can see what you can do with this link. Okay, so this is a link, and today I got second floor side, so I can show you a little demo. But there's some like wireless problem here. Too many this will depend wireless problem, so that font is not smooth. So but okay, all right. So now he is wearing second floor type ring, and he just wearing the first fingers. Okay, right now, so he gonna move the fingers. Okay, stop detecting the program. Okay. Sorry. Okay, there's a problem. Can you reload or something? Or not working? Or yeah. Okay. So maybe you can come to us after this event, and maybe not this floor. And on the first floor, there's no wireless connection problem. So okay. And okay, so next slide, please. Right. So the size is getting smaller and smaller, and we made first product about 2 months ago, and second prototype is like that one. And so next year, the size will be much smaller, and design will be much cooler. Okay, next slide, please. And this is the input device. So you can connect with a smartwatch like this kind of table or Google Glass or maybe iWatch. They offer API, and we also offer API, so we can control each other. And of course, we can connect with like this kind of hardware, TV or speakers or like a refrigerator or something. Yes. And we have Bluetooth inside this link, and we will publish the API so any developers can make their own application. And we open link store. It's like an App Store or Google Play, so any developers can publish their application and they can solve it. And we're gonna start selling it in 2014 next year in Japan and the United States. And we have a great partnership with Japanese factory, and we're gonna produce in Japan, not China. And sorry, but these are what I okay. And okay, next slide, please. So this is our team. We have like experience of making a robots and this kind of smartwatch. So be sure that we can realize this product next year. And we know that your life will be changed a lot with this thing. Thank you very much. My name is Aichiro Yoshida. I have 1 minute left, but that's it for today. Thank you.
More time for questions. I think there'll be a lot of questions on this one. So who wants to go first out of the judges? Nate?
So what's the killer application for this? So like, which application are you most excited about today?
The web device should be a communication device. So we're really focusing on communication. And we call it one emotional communication. So you just need to send one emotion, use this link. So you can communicate with your friends, just one emotion, like like happy or or question. So this kind of like communication between you and your friend, you need a lot of times, not words, because like about like 5 years ago, you need about 3,000 words for email, right? But right now, you maybe use like a WhatsApp or Line or short message. You need just 10 words, but you do like 50 or 100 times. So the count of the number of the message going up, but the number of the words is going down. So we think like you need just one word to communicate with your friend.
So this would be like a shortcut for instant messaging.
Yeah.
You have macros or something. Okay.
How much does it cost now, and how much is your kind of gold price for it?
Okay, so we don't sell it from $100 to $200. It's cost about, we cannot tell how much the actual cost, but yes, the sale price will be 100 to 200.
We have a question from the audience. Who would be your ideal partners and customers in the U.S.?
In the U.S., okay. Apple? Yes, we don't sell it in the Apple Store. Maybe
Other than the Bluetooth, do you have other sensors that are embedded in that?
Mm-hmm. We have like 3 sensors inside this link, and gyro sensors like this, burst sensors, and one more sensor we cannot tell right now.
Will you put a pulsometer in there?
Yeah.
You will? A pulsometer for health applications?
No, we don't put that one.
Okay.
We just focusing on that.
Just for communication.
Just for communication.
And we have another question from the audience. Companies like Fitbit make small personal devices, but nothing small like a ring. Is your hardware realistic or viable?
Mm-hmm. And we kind of like most challenging thing is the battery. But battery has we find very small, we can bend batteries. It's kind of like very tiny. So and also that sound like our sensor is so small. So it is very possible to make it. And we are sure that we only like we are talking about with our partner in Japan, and we know we can do it. So the only things we left is the softwares. The hardware is not the problem. The software is the problem. So, gesture things, we have to do, we have to send very small amount of data because of batteries. But even that small data, we have to detect what is that gestures. That is the most technical things. Yeah, that one.
So are you going to have to standardize your gestures for all developers to work on? So you'll have a standard set of gestures that's all people can use, or can developers write their own gestures?
The developer can make their own gestures. Also, the customers can customize their gestures.
And is that your final form factor?
Yes, this is the design mode, and the size will be like this one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
How would you compare or contrast this with leap motion?
Oh, the difference between leap and this one?
Yes.
Okay. So leap motion is like you have to go to use them.
I know technically how that they're different, but from a use case, like why would someone want to use this instead of leap motion?
Okay. So leap motion is, I think, focusing on the game or PC use, and people have to go to the place that PC, where the PC is there. So Kinect and leap motion, you have to go there to detect your emotion. But this one, the lane, you don't have to go there because this is a sensor itself. You don't have to go until the sensor is on up. The lane is a sensor itself. So that is a big difference. Yeah.
All right. One last question. Yeah. Do you have any IP protection on this? Because it seems like competitive-wise, obvious direction we're going, lots of small devices. That makes what's going to stop somebody else from just doing the same thing. So intellectual property protection, is there, you have patents on
patents stuff? Okay, so most of the technology we are using is very old. So the patent already expires now. Many stuff is more expires. And we are applying the patent about software. And we are we have kind of applying 2 types of patent right now. And yes. Okay.
All right, so our time's up. So thank you very much. Everyone, give a great hand for Ring.
So this is gonna be a light. No.
What is that, anyways? What's the light bulb?
The light is for we like to do different and.
I turn on. I see. So maybe afterwards you can get a close-up demo of the Ring as well. So the prototype is pretty cool. Like the video, it definitely looks like science fiction, but it actually works. It's pretty cool. Just check it out. So next up we have Dr. Anar Jensen from Korea with Learn Japanese Online. He's going to talk a little bit more about what he's been working on. And looks like we're ready to roll.
Hello. こんばんは、皆様。我々は氷です。言語学習はやってます。We are Corey, and we do online language learning. Yep. And go or continue, yeah. This is me. I'm Arnold Jensen. I got a PhD in computer science, focused on linguistics. Next. The problem learning a language is huge. Anybody here learn the language? Right? Are you fluent? So, right? It's a lot of effort, right? I came to Japan 10 years ago, and I didn't know any Japanese at all. And I was put into class with Chinese people and Korean people. And this is why I was doing a PhD. And the Chinese people, Korean people, they just ran through the content, while I was like, where am I, right? And I had to quit in 2 weeks. I tried everything. I tried private lessons. I tried everything. Huge problem. So I thought, how can we change this? So what if You could have a private teacher that knows all your problems. What if you could have the learning material personalized to you? What if you could learn quicker than ever? What if it was gamified? And what if it just didn't cost very much? Next. This is what we are doing, right? Language learning is a growing, really growing market. It's a huge market. The online market is growing more than 20% per year. This is the biggest online kind of competitor. I don't really see them as a competitor. They're doing only beginner stuff. We're doing beginners to advanced. We are disrupting a huge offline market. Designed for both mobile and laptops. Next.
Learn Japanese the smart way. Do you have trouble remembering? If so, you're not alone. Introducing Corey with its patented and incredibly smart artificial intelligence. Corey's AI tackles the issue of memory in 3 ways. When you learn something only once or twice, it's stored temporarily in your short-term memory. But as time goes on, it fades away and is lost. Corey analyzes your unique memory patterns and reminds you before you lose it. As you study, you begin to need fewer and fewer reminders, and the word stays in your memory longer. This is 100% controlled by the AI, so you don't need to do anything but log in and go. The system goes even further and offers you unique and varied tasks at each stage, helping you remember even longer. These tasks improve your sentence building and listening skills, while also teaching you context. But here's the most impressive part. As you use the system, Corey's massive archive of sentences are automatically updated and shifted around to match your level. The AI takes your learning information and assigns a unique score to each and every sentence in the system. From there, a sentence is chosen that features the current target word and other words you need to review. As your skills improve, those scores change, and you're given the most effective challenge to keep you improving. The Corey AI system, total personalization, true intelligence, and finally, your chance to really learn without memory holding you back.
Next.
Sign up for Corey.
Just to emphasize, we do memorizing, listening, reading, writing, speaking. We take all aspects of language learning. Next. Business model, we're doing B2C, and that's what we're focusing on. Our conversion rates and the funnel are quite impressive at the moment. And as you can see here, go on. And our service costs $17 per month or $200 per year. We're doing B2B as well. We're working with universities. Go. Here I'm teaching you teachers how to personalize the experience in the classroom by using a monitoring like teacher dashboards. Next. Growing customers, these are paying recurring customers for the past few months. Next. Our team, great team. Here's our chairman. And it's very easy to scale. We're aligned with English to Japanese. We have beta coming up for Japanese learning English and also Korea learning Japanese. That's what we do. Corey.
So, who wants to take a first crack? Anybody have a question on judgment?
So, how do you explain what makes you different to the consumer, right? It seems like you have some artificial intelligence technology, but from a consumer perspective, that means not much. So, how do you hook the customer and differentiate yourselves in a way that they understand?
Right. So, through gamification, we can show you how quickly you're learning. And the experience that the user gets by using our product, they will experience quicker learning.
Do you have some metrics to back that up, or like?
We do have some metrics to back that up. The preliminary research that we're doing, of course, and we are actually going for a research with a university to do some extensive research on that. Yeah.
you might have said this, but is this on the web, mobile?
This is web, and it's also designed for mobile.
So I find that my biggest challenge when I'm trying to learn a new language is that I actually just don't find the time to come back to it. It's
Right.
my issue. Do anything in place, especially with like mobile devices?
Reminders, like notifications, we do. And you only need to use our stuff. You only need like 5 minutes to improve every day. We show you exactly the stuff that you need to do to improve at this given moment in time. So you could use your dead time waiting for the editor, use your 2 minutes there. You could do that, possibly.
If you have one sentence to kind of sum up the value proposition, is it saving time, saving money? You talk about helping have people learn language easier. Like what Nate was saying, I'm having a hard time kind of quantifying what that is.
Right. So we are personalizing the language learning to you. By using our technology, we're able to do that. It's in patent pending mode. And also, imagine yourself, you're browsing Wall Street Journal or something like that. You can copy and paste that article into our system. We analyze it on the fly, and we tell you, these are the 5 words you don't know yet. You know all the other stuff. And do you want to add that to your learning? Yes or no? Yeah.
Simple question from the audience. Why is it called Kori?
Well, Kori is actually a Japanese word. Kori means ice, and I'm from Iceland.
Any other questions from the judges? Good. All right, so everyone give it up for Kori. So next up we have Juanito, founder of 4Beat. We're going to get connected here. So yeah, startups always have a really interesting backstory sometimes to their names. There's some pretty crazy names out there you probably come across, I'm sure. If you want to hear, like the Airbnb one is my favorite. Should I tell this one? This is the first question I actually asked Nathan when I met him. Was like, why is it Airbnb? So it turns out the idea came from staying at an air mattress in an empty room that they were renting out, right? It was your roommate.
We wanted to create a bed and breakfast, but the room had no bed. We only had some air beds in the closet, so that's why we called it an air bed and breakfast.
That was the original domain name too, right? I think you shortened it, right?
It was a little long to type in. Airbnb is much better.
Yeah, I think it's a great story for a name for a backend for a startup. So, all right, looks like we're all set up with 4Beat, so take it away when you're ready.
Okay. I'm Yuan from Figma LLC. Today, I want to show you our product, 4Beat. 4Beat is super simple controller that works with Android. Android devices are powerful and functional. You can use thousands of applications and with super high-speed CPU. But sometimes it's difficult to use, and it doesn't have fun. 4Beat introduced emotional and intuitive interface to them. Okay. I want to show you a video I took at the Mega Fair. You can know how people enjoy 4Beat. They are playing very, very simple racing application that I will show you later. And we watch their faces. Everyone is smiling. even they are small children, they are smiling. Fobit is a device that makes people smile. And from now, I will explain 3 key of Fobit. First of all, attractive hardware is key of Fobit. As you saw in the video, sometimes people find it so hard, but it's okay. We designed not only good looking, but also for endurance. And we tested well for good quality. And by the way, it's produced in China, but still good quality. And next one is application. It's when the user connects Fobit to the phone, the app starts automatically. And user interface is very easy to understand because the color of user interface is related to the color of the model. And next one is maybe the biggest one. Fobit is not for single application, but we provide as a framework. We provide JavaScript, Java, and Focus 2D X API. By providing this API, many developers can develop their application, even programming beginner to professional programmer. And let me introduce one of the famous Japanese casual gaming company named Goodyear. They are developing our Fobit application. And so let's get into the demo. Okay, here's tablet. And I connect, then the app starts automatically. And this is launch application. You can select several applications here. And let me show you one of the most intuitive applications developed by the company here. Okay, it's rating application that people playing in the video. Let's start. Let's go. Yes, I won. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back to slides. This is Fobit, and okay, next slide. Our business model is first one is simply selling devices, and second is showing advertisement. And even Fobit can use for every purpose, but now we think games and education is the biggest market. And it's our status. We are going to release Kickstarter project early next year, and we need more application partners. And we will show you the demo later, maybe some corner. So please contact me. Thanks very much.
All right, so before we jump into the Q&A here, so this is our last presenter. So this is your chance to jump on your phones and get on the Google Plus fan page for JapanNight and vote for your favorite. So please do that. You only have a few minutes because we're going to do the judging immediately after the Q&A. So now's your time to do the voting. So jump on the Google Plus to put your vote in. So first questions.
Thanks. Great. So what's your price point? What's your target price?
Yeah, it's selling price.
Selling price, and also, if you want something to cost you,
Okay, selling price is about $80,000. $80. And cost is because we are emphasis on the quality. It's not so cheap right now, actually. About $30. Cost.
With that price, who do you think your target market is? Who's actually buying this?
For education, the parents buy, and for the gaming, the young guys will buy. There are many markets. So
Are you guys building the games educational platforms? Is it a developer would build for?
So sorry, but
Are you building the games that would go out on this? Or developers are building them, and so this is a tool that I would get access to?
Okay, we are not game professional. So, for example, this year is much better application developer, gaming developer. So, I hope they will develop more applications than us.
So can you make some comparison to other companies that have created physical controllers that hook up to your phone or your iPad? So like, I have to imagine that you could make other controllers. I have to imagine other companies have done this. So what can we learn from what other companies have done and why this might be a big market and be a good fit?
You mean competitor?
Yeah, similar products, maybe different, but what can we learn in terms of how big the opportunity is and like what kind of people buy these and how much they spend?
I don't know. Sorry, but maybe I don't understand your question.
Does anyone else make hardware for gaming on your iPhone or iPad?
So for us to develop the iPhone controller.
But other companies. Do other companies make controllers?
Yeah.
And if they make controllers, how many have they sold? How big of a business is it?
Yeah, I think there are some gaming controller already existing, but it's not just gaming controller. It can be used for any purpose, and maybe it's the simplest controller ever in the world. So I think that's our strong point.
So everything is going wireless, but your controller is not wireless.
Right.
So can you talk a little bit about the design decision for that?
Yeah. Because I want to make it simple. Everyone can use wireless connection, but someone is not good at connecting and for example, Bluetooth pairing is not easy for elder person and children. So I want to make it simple. This is the most simple interface. That's right. But in the future, maybe we will use wireless controller.
Any other questions? Good. All right. Well, everyone give it up. Last presenter, 4D. All right. So the judges, if you can go ahead and pick your top three based on the criteria that we talked about. You know, at the end of the day, all those criteria basically boil down to who would you invest in with your own money, basically. So who's the best bet for success in the global market? So while the judges are finishing up, we're going to be closing the Google Plus voting. So please, you have like 60 seconds. So if you're not entering the page, you might be already too late. So make sure you get your cast your ballot for the startup. So dig in there. And as soon as we get the ballots from the judges, we're going to start calculating those up. So in the meantime, we want to have our last sponsor come up, Naoki Oyama from United, if you're around. So we're going to roll a quick video for United. So United flew all those startups over to San Francisco. It's our first time partnering with United. They're a great company. I fly all the time on United to Japan. So we'll give a quick little video, and then Oyama-san is going to talk a little bit more about what United does.
Airport, please. What airline? United. Which airline, sir? United. Oh, yes, sir. Which airline then? United. Carolina? United. 哪个航空公司 ？United. 哪个 airline? United. 都上哪 ？United. More destinations than any other airline. ไปสายการบินไหนครับ United. That's great big world friendly.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Naoki Oyama. I just flew from Tokyo this afternoon. And I've just shown you a TV commercial which is currently running in America. Unfortunately, it's not running in Japan though. I really like this TV commercial because I'm going to ask you this question, especially to those who came from Japan. Which airline did you take? Say that again. Did you like it? Thank you very much. There are 3 reasons why I strongly recommend entrepreneurs or startups in Japan to fly United. Choose United over other airlines. Because, first reason, because that's my job. I have to say that. The second reason is we are the global airline. You are going to be global, right? So once you step into our aircraft, even in Narita or in Osaka, it's not Japan anymore. There are flight attendants with multi-nationality will help you, let alone the language they speak. So it is going to be a very good place to practice your English, especially after you use Corey. Right. So the third reason is, again, that's something that really focused at the semifinal. We are very big airline between Japan and San Francisco, the Bay Area. So we're flying from Osaka. We're flying from Narita, actually, it's a 2-day flight from Narita. And the last month, we, United Airlines, applied to fly between Haneda. You know Haneda, right? The Tokyo Metropolitan Airport and San Francisco to US DOT. If our application is granted, so we'll be even bigger. So if you are based in Japan, I will assist you when you travel. And let me introduce my fellow coworker who are based in Los Angeles, who will assist you if you are based in America.
Hey, good evening. Who knows United? Who knows? Everybody knows United. My name is Tom Akamasa. I'm from Los Angeles, California. It was a great presentation. We're very honored to be here. You know, we had a lot of keywords today. Network, global, close border activity. You know, in the beginning, you know, some of the people say we might not need to meet each other anymore since you're on the internet companies. But that's not true, right? I heard that it is very important to use all the users, right? We heard that again and again. And so, you know, we're very global airline. As a United, we cover, right? We cover 370 destinations and 70 countries. We cover everywhere in the world. So please do remember us, and you need to meet the people, okay? That's very important for you and very important for us. I have another 1 minute, 30 seconds. We had one big announcement yesterday. Does anyone know? Nobody knows, right? Some people says, I don't want to be on a flight because I'm going to lose offline, right? I'm not going to be online. I'm going to lose all the interconnection. No, that's not true. We announced, United Airlines yesterday announced, during the takeoff and landing, you don't have to shut the cell phone anymore. Does everybody know about that? That was announced yesterday. I didn't turn my phone off. Everybody's now doing a cell phone. You can't, you know, actually you can't talk on the phone. I have 52 seconds left, but you can still put on the phone on, right? But you're going to lose the connection. But United has over 100 flights on Wi-Fi. So actually nobody doesn't have to worry about that. Everybody's going to be on offline. So that's a big announcement we started yesterday, okay? Please tell the customers, during the takeoff and landing, you do not have to shut down the phone on United. How's that? Okay? Thank you so much. And as Naoki Oyama said, we're friendly airlines that fly United. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As you can see, these guys are really passionate about flying, which makes it very convenient whenever they have to go to events like this. So thanks again to United. They've been really great. You know, and it's no small thing when you're a startup, like you're really bootstrapping, you don't have a lot of money, so coming to events like this, it's a ton of money, and our sponsors made it super cheap and even free for some of them, so that's not a small thing to when you don't have a lot of money to burn. So thank you again to United, I hope we can partner again for the next Japan Night. I personally fly United a lot because, man, when you're stuck in a 13-hour flight, movie selection matters, and I can tell you, I've flown a lot of different flights, and United has best movie selection, so. So next up, we want to just talk about our sponsors a little bit. They're still tallying up the scores. They're going to have that in a minute here. But in the meantime, we want to talk about some of the other sponsors who made this event possible. So PR Times, Nisha, Prezi, Chatwork, and First Step. Chatwork was one of our presenters a while back. They've become really successful. They're based in the Bay Area. And actually, btrax uses them really extensively. Really great chat and task platform. And next up, media sponsors, we have MDN Design, which is a really big media outlet for designers in Japan, and Tech in Asia, which, if any of you know Asian market, Tech in Asia is one of the premier outlets for information about technology and startups doing cross-border, especially reporting on startups in Asia. So we were really proud to work with them this time. And all our partners and sponsors, K-Lab Ventures, Movida Japan, Hub Tokyo, Dreamgate, Tange Films, Itoen for their nice tea. They've been partnering with us for a long time as well. And Uber as well. If you look on our Twitter feed, Uber is giving special discount to everyone who's attending tonight. So go look on our Japan Night Twitter stream. You'll find some discounts from Uber. Our friends over there gave us nice discount for you guys. So you can see it takes a lot of people to put together an event this big. So I want to just take a moment and recognize all of the btrax staff who worked on this. So if you guys can stand up and wave your hands, btrax staff, stand up. So I especially want to thank Rena over here. So she's the event producer. She makes all the pieces fit together. We have Hinako and Jade over here. They've been tireless on getting the word out so that you all know to come here tonight. And we have also Shota, where are you? Shota in the back. So Shota was the event producer for our Tokyo event. He's been working really hard for many, many months on this. And Aki as well, who's the general manager for btrax Japan. Aki, give a little wave. Aki. As you can see, he's still busy working. So Aki also is our general manager in Japan. So if you have any questions or are based in Tokyo, he's the guy to talk to. He's our man in Tokyo. So I think we're ready, right? We have the thing. So Brandon's going to make the big announcement for the top 3 and the winner for tonight.
Ready? This is very interesting. So I'm announcing top 3, but we actually got 2/3 teams. So we have 2 teams scored 3rd, which are Fukushima Whale and Code Prep. So come on, Fukushima and Code Prep. Quick photo. So 1, 2, 3, showtime? No showtime?
Yeah.
Showtime? Oh, later. Showtime. All right, so let's move on to the second. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the second, actually, so we got the same numbers for second and first, and we got some votes from Google Plus that made the difference between the first and second. So the second winner is one unfortunate team we got today, Ring. they were the winner at the semifinals and also the winner at the DFJ event a couple days ago.
Make sure to take lots of photos. These guys are going to hit it big. They've been a big hit at all events that they've been doing demos at. So feel free to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use.
Okay. So the next is obviously the winner. So I'm holding this all by myself, but Rina, can you help me out? So you can take this thing. So we have a lot of prizes. The trophy, JapanNight, and we have custom-made this btrax cool kawaii T-shirt. Cool kawaii means cool, kawaii, cute. So okay. So the winner, I'm very impressed. They had a lot better presentation for tonight, maybe 10x better than a couple days ago. The winner is Curry.
Yeah, congratulations.
We got it.
All right, everyone give it up. And we're going to get a quick photo with Daiwa. That's the grand prize from Daiwa Securities. All right, so after we're done here, there's still some drinks to be had if you're thirsty, and we're going to take some quick photos, group photos. So the final three, please come up, and if we can have the judges come up as well for a quick couple of photos. So please enjoy the drinks. We still have the space for about 30 minutes, so please enjoy yourself, and thanks again for coming to Japan Night.